Yeah, for Geordie himself as well to be in the position that he is. I think, Jonathan, you maybe relate a little bit to that, considering your first managerial job was Middlesbrough. But he also mentioned that Rome wasn't built in a day. It will take a little bit of time for Newcastle to be up there competing and then be competitive. I think Amanda Staveley said that they have ambitions to win the Premier League and as early as 5 years' time. Do you think that is a feasible goal? Let's put it that way.
No, I don't see him winning the Premier League in 5 years. Maybe 10, but 5. I can't say that. I really can't. With how hard the Premier League is, with the teams outside of the top 4 as well, it is a difficult league. It's notoriously difficult. You've got to attract players to Newcastle, which at times won't be easy. You can get some good players, some top players, but can you get the world-class players? I'm not too sure about that at the minute. It's a big rebuilding job. It's a massive rebuilding job. They need to get the right manager in who wants to do it the right way. And Newcastle fans want to see exciting football. I played under Bobby Robson, who played that type of football and who wanted to entertain as well as win games, and that's what the Newcastle fans want to see. Let's see what it's going to be like in the next 48 hours. Who knows what's going to happen.
But Jonathan, other clubs who've had their takeover have managed to win trophies within the first 5 years of the new regime. You look at Manchester City, for example. I think that their blueprint is one of those that maybe perhaps Newcastle can look to try to achieve the kind of success that Man City has had in the last decade or so. I mean, how similarly or how differently can the progression of Newcastle be versus, say, Manchester City?
Very different, because Manchester City weren't fighting relegation. Newcastle were fighting relegation, and they didn't have this. Man City still had some really good players. Newcastle are fighting a relegation battle at the minute, so that's why it's a bigger job for them to do. It's going to take time. It really is. It's going to take patience. Probably the first manager, they'll take them to a certain level, then they'll get a new manager and take them to the higher level. I think that's what will happen. But it's going to be exciting times for Newcastle and exciting times for the league.
Michelle, I mean, is it
the Northern team has the most money in the league now?
Yeah, Michelle, is it going to be a lot more difficult now for Newcastle to break into, maybe not the top 6, now it seems more like a top 4 really in the Premier League, to break into that versus when Chelsea or Man City had their takeover?
Yeah, I think the big thing at the moment is I think the Premier League is stronger than ever. And I really think, how competitive it is. We're talking about Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, Spurs, Arsenal is still around, Everton, Newcastle. They're trying to the next few years. They will do something for sure. I mean, like, it's so competitive at the moment. So and it needs time. You know, Newcastle come from very far. First things first is to stay in the Premier League, you know, and from there on, so that takes already a season, and then from there on we will see what's going to happen. But you know, to become a title contender it's going to be very hard. You know, Leicester, don't forget about Leicester. I mean, so you know, it's good for the league, but 5 years winning the title in 5 years is ambitious. But you never know. But at the moment, I don't see that happen.
Yeah, it's so difficult to break into that. I mean, the Mushiris of Everton have been trying to break into the top 4 for ages now. They've spent a decent bucket load of money and they've not really come that close, let's be honest, and with all due respect. But when it comes to the new owners, Jonathan, it will take process, like you said. There's only so much that they can do right now. They can't be getting in players for sure, not at least until the January transfer window. And that usually isn't a very productive window alone. What should the new owners' priorities be right now? What do they need to sort out first?
They need stability. They need that stability now with the situation Newcastle find themselves in, whether that's keeping Steve Bruce, who knows, but stability for me. They need to make a big call on who they want the manager to take them forward to, and then they've got to get the recruitment process sorted for when January comes in, and don't just get players in on January the 30th, 31st. Get them in 1st, 2nd, 3rd of January, so they're there for the full month of January. But stability is really important.
So what kind of players should they target in January then? I mean, let's be realistic. It's highly likely they'll try to get Erling Haaland or Kylian Mbappe in January. What sort of bracket are they shopping from?
Well, they're not going for that type of player, like you said, but they need to get players who are going to keep them in the league.
Well, fans were ambitious. If you saw the memes on FIFA and everyone's trying to come up with the most ideal Newcastle starting 11 with the likes of Mbappe and Haaland in the team. So Newcastle fans are ambitious.
Yeah, of course they are. We all are ambitious, but you need to be realistic. And a bit of realism inside you. And, you know, for me, they need to strengthen up that defence for starters, and they need someone to help Callum Wilson for them to stay in the league. That's a minimum, by the way.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think to stay in the league is the first and foremost this season. So even in the January window, I think if they can get a good striker to help out, obviously in the back they need to have some stability on the midfield. I think as well. One or two players, but again, you know, it's so hard. And if you want to shop in the bracket, like players, why would I come to Newcastle? Not only for the money, you need to have a perspective. And at the moment, the perspective is they're fighting for relegation. So it's a difficult one. It's very difficult.
Jonathan, you've played there. What is the attraction of Newcastle?
It's a good football. I signed there because there was a top manager in there, and Bobby Robson. That was one of the reasons why I went there, because it was a world-class manager. They also had players of the calibre of Alan Shearer, Gary Speed, Kieran Dyer, Craig Bellamy, and they were in the Champions League. So that's why I went there. But at the minute, they're fighting a relegation battle. They don't know who the manager's going to be. So it's a bit unstable. That's why they need stability at the minute.
Yeah.
So the next few months are going to be very interesting for Newcastle.